Hi, it's Sandy Wyllie. Welcome to my mental health channel, where I wipe away the stigma of mental illness by talking about my own personal struggles having borderline personality disorder. I talk about post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, depression. I talk about narcissism and my narcissistic mother. I talk about schizophrenia and autism. I also talk about that. I have an autistic son, and I wrote a book, Life with My Schizophrenic Father, and in that book, it's my childhood memoir. I talk about my father's schizophrenia on me, my narcissistic mother, and my son with autism and traumatic brain injury. I also talk about my unethical psychologist who I've had sexual relationships with for years, who got into a lot of trouble with police and lawyers and just the gamut of other mental health related topics. But I only come on as a former patient of almost 20 years. I am not a licensed therapist. I do not hold a degree in psychology, so I cannot diagnose you or give you a professional opinion. And all I ask in turn of you is your kindness and respect, please, in the comments. Now, if you are new to my channel, welcome. Please hit that subscribe button in the lower right hand corner. That way you'll be notified each and every time a new video of mine comes out. Stick around, take a chance. It's 100% free. Give it a thumbs up. Please share my videos with your friends, your family. You don't have to ask permission on the social media platforms. If you are interested in any of purchasing any of my books, my memoirs, autobiographies, my poetry, the links to all of those are down below in the description for your purchase on Amazon. If you would like to support my channel in any way, you can always buy me a cup of coffee. I very much would appreciate that. And the link to that is down below in the description as well. I always want to hear from you, of course, and I will answer each and every one of you back. You can write me privately if you don't want to write in the comments. I have my email address is down below in the description as well. Leann, LEEANN827@hotmail.com. Now today I'm going to talk about what triggers autistic rage. And the whole reason that I've come on to do this video is because I was severely attacked yesterday by my autistic son, Alex. And so I will go into what happened with that attack, how he physically went after me, lunged at me, pushed me. I will go into that in a moment. So I want to do this whole video so people can understand autistic rage. It's different than borderline rage. Yes, I have borderline rage. And that's different than everyday anger that other people get who are not borderline personality disorder. And so autistic rage is very, very different than other people's rage. First of all, autistic people have sensory overload, they get overloaded, their senses get overloaded. They can't articulate their pain, they can't understand their pain, they can't identify their pain, and they can't convey their emotions. So what does this lead to? They can't understand what they're feeling, they can't identify what they're feeling, and they can't convey what they're feeling because they can't put it into words. My son has very limited language. If you watch that little 15-second video on my son, he has the language of a 2-year-old. He knows like nouns. He can say book, puzzle, horse, shoe, but he can't string those words together into full-length sentences to convey what he's feeling to people. So with that limited language and inability to communicate, that leads to complete frustration with an autistic person. And because of this, imagine trying to communicate something. Imagine being in a foreign country, all right? This is the only way I can describe it to you. You're in a foreign country and you don't speak the language, and no one speaks English in that country. And you don't know you don't have the currency to buy something, and you're hungry and you can't purchase anything because they don't take, your currency. And you you don't know where to go. You can't ask for directions because they don't speak your language, and you're frustrated. No one can help you, and you don't know how to get help from these people because you can't communicate to them. So wouldn't that make you, very frustrated and upset and angry? And what happens is violence ensues. And this is common, these outbursts among autistic people. It's a heightened emotional outburst. They cannot convey and what they're feeling. So it's very frustrating to them, They thrive on safety and feeling in control. They don't do well in changes in their routine, changes in tone and pitch of someone's voice. Everything needs to be consistent. When I'm with my son, I need to be 100% with my son. I need to be, 100% consistent with him. I need to be able to be an even-toned voice. I need to be able to be very attentive to to his needs. There can't be a change in the routine. Like, for instance, I couldn't see him a couple of Saturdays ago because he had a bad case of the bed bugs. And he had all these bites all over him from his residential place where he was staying. And so they had to evacuate the house, and they had to fumigators had to come in and fumigate the whole house. And he thought he did something wrong. He couldn't understand why I didn't see him, is because he wasn't going to be home. They took him out somewhere because I visit him once a week at his house, and he comes home for dinner at our house. The reason why he can't live with us is because he's a threat. He's 6. Imagine, that movie, Honey, I Shrunk the Kid? Well, imagine a 6'2", 175-80-pound toddler. Did you see that movie, Honey? Oh, no, not Honey, I Shrunk the Kid. That was the first one. Honey, I Blew Up the Kid. All right, I said it wrong. I always get things backwards. Honey, I Blew Up the Kid. All right? So imagine, just like anything else, imagine if you blew up a spider and it becomes a gigantic spider. If you blow up anything, imagine blowing up. Honey, I blew up the kid, not shrunk. Honey, I blew up the kid. Imagine blowing up, a toddler who has very limited language and is having temper tantrums, wailing, pounding. A toddler is small. You can pick them up and you can put them in their room or something, right? Or hold them. But a 6'2", 180-pound man is like, Honey, I blew up the kid. With a 2-year-old mind is very dangerous. And because of his aggressions, he could kill me. He has put his arms around my neck and tried to choke me. I can never be alone with my son. I have my husband, who's a senior citizen too. We're both senior citizens, And my other son lives at home, works full time, and I'll get to what happened, the attack on me last night. But I just want to explain first why, it's so difficult for autistic people, why their rage is different, and because they can't articulate their feelings. They have a hard time, so they get frustrated, and that's what leads to the rage. And it is a threat to my safety and my husband's safety because we're senior citizens. Now, his brother, my other son, my youngest son, he's like 6'3", and he's like over 200 pounds. He's like a football player, all right? He can handle my autistic son because he's a size. He can control him. He's strong and big and tall. While me and my husband, we're elderly people. I have brittle bones. I only weigh like 114 pounds. And Alex attacks me. I can go to the hospital, land in the hospital. So what happened, I'll get into what happened now. Me and my husband are under extreme stress. My husband got in a car accident. We have no car. We have to scramble. We're on a rental car right now, but we can't afford rental car. We have to scramble to get some sort of vehicle. He lost his job, which makes it now we have no money. And we have very little money in the bank. In fact, buying a new car will just suck up all the money in the bank and we won't have a penny. Zero. And he's not working. And the tension in the house is very intense. It's very difficult I'm not making any money on, I'm working 7 days a week, 7 hours a day on my YouTube. And I'm not making any money off of that. So that's not helping. So it's really tough to come on here and, you know, put out a good product and put on a good face and not get any money. Month after month, I don't get anything. The last time I got paid was 2 months ago. I got paid $100. 2 months ago! That's ridiculous. But I try to come on, hopefully one day my luck will turn, things will turn around for me. I pray, you know, every night I pray that my luck will turn, that all this hard work and all this effort that I put into these videos, that something will come of it. Somewhere I'll get lucky, because my luck pretty much shits right now. But yeah, so the tensions have been, you know, and we were fighting before we picked up Alex, and Alex, I guess, was very sensitive. And he knew that he probably picked up tension between me and my husband, though we weren't fighting in front of him. I was on the floor playing a puzzle on the floor with him. And, you know, and then he just lunged at me and he started pushing me, you know, and shoved me. I fell over. My drink fell over and spilled all over. And I had to get up and run in the other room. Then he started chasing me. Like, you know, he wanted to beat me up. He was chasing me around the house. I was running. So my other son had a, you know, he's on a crisis hotline. That's his job. So he had to call in for an emergency. And he had to try to hold Alex down. But Alex was still trying to beat me up. He was coming after me, attacking me. So my son says, call his residents and tell them to come and pick him up, that he is violent, that he is attacking his mother. So my husband gets on the phone and calls, and they say, we can't do anything about it. Call 911. So I said, oh my God, do I want the ambulance down here and take my son away in the ambulance? And oh, the police, and oh my God, what a fucking nightmare this is. What a nightmare. So it's like, oh my God. And this is why I turn into I drink. I mean, my God, it's just like one thing after another. But yeah, so it took 2 men. Well, my husband is, you know, he's a pretty frail man. If you look at him, he looks more like he's, you know, 78 than 60. He does. You know, he's bald, he's wrinkled, you know, he's not a strong, strapping man. People age different. Like, you can take someone who's 60 and they can look 40, you know, and they can be, you know, it just depends. People age differently, but my husband's not strong. But my son had to go in, call off of work, tell work because he works on the weekends, my other son. He had to say it's a family emergency to his boss, and he had to go in and sit with my other son in the back seat and, you know, and make sure that, you know, So I thought it would be important to talk about this because it's very real, and I want people to know. I mean, people see the good side of him, like that, you know, sweet and innocent. But there's also this other side of him, and that's what, you know, he has severe anxiety. He's on Risperdal. He's on a lot of medication, and that's one of them to control anxiety. He's on anxiety meds. He's on seizure meds. He's on a big cocktail of medication, and, you know, to control his anxiety. And he needs to feel, you know, we need to be very calm and very, it's hard to, when we're both under so much duress to be very calming in front of him. And I think he picked up, my husband says he picked up tension in me, even though I was not yelling or, I was playing with him. But of course, my life's under a lot of stress right now. I've had very bad chest pain. I thought I was going to have a heart attack the other day, and I still come on and do these friggin' videos. I think I'll just pass out and die in front of everyone. It won't matter anyway, because no one watches my channel. No one would even be aware that I died on camera. They wouldn't, because no one watches my channel. But anyway, so that's what happens when, they need consistency. You can't change their routine. You have to be calming and soothing, because of the sensory overload. They can't process their feelings. And this is what leads to these outbursts. But life isn't always like that. Life isn't always calm, and life isn't always, things are always changing in life, and it's very hard for people to, remain constantly in a chipper, happy, mood. It's very difficult. And so, also he has difficulty transitioning from one thing to another. And that can lead to outbursts too. So just think that, the best way, like I explained it, is being in a foreign country, and not being able to communicate, and not feeling safe, and being anxious. And you can have a little more empathy when you think about it that way. All right. Let me know if you have any questions, thoughts, or opinions, and write them down in the comment. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.